Looks like we're on, huh? Hoping someday to have my own producer. All right. Try to get settled in here a little bit. I like the uh I like the intro. It sounds very zen and recoverish. So I gotta tell you, I'm a bit bashful about this. I don't get shy often. I don't get nervous often. But I am for this. It's one thing to bear your video games in front of the world, but showing your life in a way like this is proving difficult. But some days more excited about it than others. So let me start by unpacking the vision for this show, and it's all completely unscripted, which I think is the only way that this will work. And a lot of you that know me and have been around my channel know I've been practice running at this for a while. So here we are. Looks like we've made it to a certain extent. Definitely appears to me that there's a show of some kind going on. And let's see if let's see what happens. So just take it a step at a time. First, begin by saying a few technical things that are going on. The system is, well, it's been getting worked on for 2 years, but it's still got a lot of stuff to iron out. And I wouldn't rush a show out like I am this one, but this one's necessary for my health and well-being, and if all goes well, for a lot of others. So I could say we've got in the future, next week will be, well, first let me unpack the show. The show is about my recovery. It's about real recovery. It's about what recovery really looks like, because I can say that I am a professional addict. I've been in active addiction for 30 some years. Well, I'm sorry, not an active addiction. I've been in active addiction for 33 years. I've been in recovery for 10. I have been in all sorts of treatment facilities, jails, institutions, you name it, I've been there. Nothing has worked for me. Well, nothing worked for me but the things that I'm going to show you. And it's been a rocky journey. So today's going to be really simple, quite frankly, because I have a lot to do, and this is hard. This one's not easy. Now you can tune in later where I'll be showcasing some video game skills, where I'm nice and confident and arrogant and a completely different person. Let's just call it a different character. So, but the show, I'll be talking about myself and my recovery. It won't be daily. I thought about doing a daily blog. I'm going to do this weekly, so I have more time to prepare. In general, over my 10 years of recovery, I have run into a lot of very inspirational and inspiring and tragic and sad, but more than anything, inspiring people. And it being no more of a miracle, it's no more of anything else but a miracle that I'm here sitting in front of you right now. And so my intention is to share my recovery through this in the hopes of sharing what I've been given to you. So I'm not perfect in this journey, but I am in the journey. And so I want to show you a little bit about, I think this, I used to call this video I'm going to show you guys a love letter from God. And Well, you just have to watch and see, but that's what I call it. I was in a treatment facility for quite some time, and I was healed when I was there, and I tried to limit my exposure nowadays to the recovery community because it's very sad. I personally got really sick of my friends dying and getting a phone call once a week. So I distanced myself, and that was a mistake. And this is an effort to fix that mistake. So eventually, depending on how things go, I'll get out into the community more, and instead of just introducing you to my buddies and my mentors, I'll introduce you to some of the people around the community here itself. But for now, I think this is a good place to start. And so here's my love letter from God. Wasn't as ready for that as I thought. Yeah, I am. But without further, and then after that, I've got just a place where miscellaneously I had the chance to share my story. So I'm not lacking content. I've got too much for the show, sadly. But I want to honor what it is and do it justice, and I want it to be genuine and transparent. And quite frankly, I'm exhausted right now. I've spent past couple years. I'm a felon and I'm unemployed, and it's impossible. It's impossible to get employment outside of a miracle, with a few other factors that we'll be getting to on this podcast for sure. For sure, we'll be hearing more about me than what we want. But so coming up next week, we have my good friend Dr. Dave. He is one of the founders of a group called Webb, and they're from Northern Ohio, in Berlin, Ohio, an Amish community. And I met him through some leadership training, and what he had, I wanted so bad that we developed a really close relationship. So that's next week, and then the week after, we're going to put my sister on and let her talk about her experience with addiction and what that looks like, and her view of recovery and what that's like for a family member. So that's next 2 weeks, and just stay tuned. It's just going to get better and better. I have some really cool stories to tell, and I'm actually glad to be doing this because I don't want to forget them. So without further ado, here we go. So the first video is just one of me and my buddies, and so this was me after I first got sober 10 years ago.
Series Inside the Refuge, and this morning you'll meet a man who was heading down a path of self-destruction until his wife and son walked away. You were going to fight for family.
Because that's the most important thing. So whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
We will see firsthand how this man went from one extreme to another and where he is today. Wait till you see the dramatic difference he's made in his life. It's coming up in our Sunday Chat.
NBC4 continues our series on drug addiction. Last Sunday, we took you inside the refuge and introduced you to a man who says it saved his life.
Well, this morning, we hear a different man's story. And if you've never before believed in a second chance, this story may change your mind.
He is my buddy. Come here. Hi. This is Danny.
Named after his dad, and no doubt about it, Danny Webb is a dedicated family man. He also has a newborn.
He looks just like his brother. I want him to be just like his brother because my 4-year-old, he is just an amazing guy.
Danny also owns his house and takes pride in doing his own home improvement work.
I have gorgeous hardwood floors, beautiful cabinets, countertops, everything's new.
And he has a great career working in a lab with metal-clad fibers.
I work with really intelligent, neat people who are scientists. I love my job. I love to talk about it. I love going to it.
But let's rewind. Life for Danny wasn't always like this. In fact, it was dramatically different.
We lived not out in the middle of nowhere, but not in the city, so I could get out at night and sneak.
Up, we have part 2 of our series Inside the Refuge, and this morning you'll meet a man who was heading down a path of self-destruction until his wife and son walked away. You were going to fight for family.
Guess we'll get the chance to see it twice, huh?
Because that's the most important thing. So whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
We will see firsthand how this man went from one extreme to another and where he is today. Wait till you see the dramatic difference he's made in his life. It's coming up in our Sunday Chat.
NBC4 continues our series on drug addiction. Last Sunday, we took you inside the refuge and introduced you to a man who says it saved his life.
Well, this morning, we hear a different man's story. And if you've never before believed in a second chance, this story may change your mind.
He is my buddy. Come here. Hi. This is Danny.
Named after his dad, and no doubt about it, Danny Webb is a dedicated family man. He also has a newborn.
He looks just like his brother. I want him to be just like his brother because my 4-year-old, he is just an amazing guy.
Danny also owns his house and takes pride in doing his own home improvement work.
I have gorgeous hardwood floors, beautiful cabinets, countertops, everything's new.
And he has a great career working in a lab with metal-clad fibers.
I work with really intelligent, neat people who are scientists. I love my job. I love to talk about it. I love going to it.
But let's rewind. Life for Danny wasn't always like this. In fact, it was dramatically different.
We lived not out in the middle of nowhere, but not in the city, so I could get out at night and sneak around and get out from under my parents' watchful eye. And I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done at a very young age.
Including drinking alcohol at 12 years old. Danny stayed social and active, even became a track and field champion. But soon enough, the alcohol led to stronger drugs. And you've been in jail.
I have. I've spent more time in jail than I should.
Danny's life was getting out of control, and the drugs were taking their toll.
I know beyond a shadow of a doubt I'd be dead. I could not have gone any longer the way I was going. My body was done.
At the time, little Danny was only a year old, and all at once, Danny's wife and son packed up and left. That was the turning point. When your wife and son left, something hit you.
Yeah, when my wife and son left, that's not what was going to happen.
You were going to fight for family.
Because that's the most important thing. So whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. So it's the most difficult thing I've ever done or been through.
So Danny came here to the refuge, a place in Vinton County where men learn to live without drugs.
Now you have to look in the mirror. And that's the hardest thing to do, is to look at where you've been, what you've done, and start to see some things that you need to change.
The refuge first opened its doors in 1999. It's a ministry based on the Bible, teaching people to put others' needs before their own. And you have to be willing to temporarily walk away from everything and everyone in your life.
Because of the triggers that you run into in society that get you thinking towards using people, places, things, and the best thing you can do is remove yourself from all of it.
Between Vinton County and another location on the west side of Columbus, men normally use the refuge for about 13 months, and there is no fee for room and board. Danny's case was more extreme. He's been part of the refuge for 3 years. Finally, it worked.
I can't take any credit for it whatsoever. You know, what God's done is surround me with like an all-star team of responsible men in Columbus who are the utmost professionals, and they care, and they're literally teaching me hand in hand how to be a man.
To me, it's not even a program. To me, those are my friends. To me, it's more of a family feel. It's more relational than it is like a program or an institution. We're just doing life together.
And it's that brotherly bond that seems to work wonders. Danny is living proof. And everything he does and owns today is a reflection of the refuge. And now he's reaching out to others who need help.
I've named my house Hope because that's what I want to represent to somebody is hope. And hopefully just to give back to one person what I've been given. That's where it's all at.
Danny, who was once knocking on death's door, has opened up to a whole new way of life. And now, with his family by his side, he's stronger than ever before. How thankful are you, Danny?
I can't put it into words. I am beyond grateful. I feel like I'm living a dream every day. And it just gets better. So it just gets better.
Oh, that feeling of really literally almost being gone, done, dead. And now look at him and what he has accomplished. And it was very kind of his wife to come back into his life, because he did say, thank goodness she left when she did, because that's what it did. Sometimes in order to initiate change, you have to be at your worst. You have to hit rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he's weathering through that storm.
Unbelievable.
And now trying to give back to others, too.
There's the refuge is all based on donations and people who just want to give to it. Like we said, it's free for people to use it. And there's a 5K race in June. That's one of the fundraisers for it. But it is, we were the first station to do anything on the refuge. So I was very, very fortunate to be able to tell those stories. And thanks to Danny and Carl, who helped us last week, and of course Tom, who runs it. It's just a great program. When you can make a difference in someone's life like that, oh, it's unbelievable. And it's right here in Central Ohio.
Very powerful, and certainly all about making a difference.
So that's just a little bit about my past. And of course, I'm having some technical difficulties right now because it's the nature of the beast. But I'm going to actually leave you with that tonight, and that's what it's about. Here we are. A decade later. Oh, there we are. So I can tell you that recovery has not been perfect. I can tell you I struggle. I still struggle. Sometimes are better than others, but that original, we're in recovery though. So anyway, that's who I am, and I'll tell you more about what the last decade of my recovery looked like. But it's become clear to me that you can't run from a calling. So next week we'll have one of my mentors on, and somebody I love dearly, and I'm really excited for you to meet them and for me to share. I'm looking very forward to sharing all of these people who are so special to me. Have a good weekend. Sorry I was running late today. We'll get better, and sorry for the technical difficulties. I'll have them finally ironed out, I hope soon, but I knew we were getting to a point where we were able to start moving forward, and I didn't want to wait any longer. I could have waited forever. I am fundraising for this project. I haven't started yet, but I'm going to have to do that. Yeah, that's just unfortunately going to be necessary. But that's another conversation for another show on the same channel. So thanks for checking in with us. I'm looking forward to